You check to make sure that we got sound, right? We're live now. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Chana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. So today we read Srila Prabhupada Nectar, but we also can take an opportunity to sing a song, Vaishnava song. It's on the screen, right? So we'll sing this first, and then we'll go into Srila Prabhupada Nectar. Udila aruna purava vaje dvichamani gora amani jage. Pakata sangmuhaloya sate kila nagara braje. Tatai tatai bhajalako gana gana tahe jandira ro. Premi dala dala sonara anga charane nupura bhaje. Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bolena Bolore Vadana Bori Micheni Dabashe Gela Re Rati Dwidiva Sasharira Saje Hemana Durlava Manava Deho Payaki Kuru Bhavana Keho Ebina Bajile Yashoda Sutta Charame Puri Belaje Udita Tapana Hoile Asta Dina Gela Bole Hoile Vyasta Tabe Keno Ebe Alasa Hoi Nabaja Hridoya Raje Jivana Anicca Jana Hasar Tahena Vida Viparabar Namashraya Kori Jatane Tumi Takana Apana Kaje Jivera Kalyana Sarana Kam Jagate Asaye Madhuryanam Avidyati Mira Tapana Rupe Rigagane Viraje Krishna Namasuna Koriyapan Charayo Bhakati Vinoda Pran Nama Bina Kichu Nahiko Aro Joda Bhuvana Maje So, translation about Lord Chaitanya's early morning kirtans. When a tinge of red on the eastern horizon heralded the sunrise, The jewel of the twice-born Lord Gaur Sundar immediately awakened. Taking his devotees with him, he went all over the countryside, visiting the towns and villages of Nadia. The mridangas sounded, tat-tai, and the cymbals chimed in time, and Lord Gauranga's footbells jingled as his golden form trembled slightly in ecstatic love of God. Lord Chaitanya called out to the townsfolk, "You spend your nights uselessly sleeping and your days decorating your bodies. Now just fill your mouths with the vibration of the holy names, Mukunda, Madhava, Yadava, Hari, chanting without offense. You have achieved the rare human body. Don't you care for this gift? If you do not serve the darling of the Yashoda now, great sorrow awaits you at death." Each time the sun rises and sets, a day passes and is lost. Then why do you remain idle and refuse to serve the Lord of the heart? Understand this essential fact. Life is temporary and full of all kinds of miseries. So take shelter of the holy name as your only business. Desiring to bless all souls, the sweet name of Krishna has descended to this material world and now shines like the sun in the sky of the heart, destroying the darkness of ignorance. So the name of Krishna is also personal. Desiring to bless all souls, the sweet name of Krishna has descended to this material world. So it's Krishna, desire of the name itself, to have descended to this material world, to give opportunity for us conditioned souls to become Krishna conscious. So, you could see me, but for those out there. So we'll go on to Srila Prabhupada Nectar reading. Number 41, anyone's watched reading from the book itself, is page 404. 41, Prabhupada said, in regards to deity worship, "Yes, at least once daily the deity's clothes must be changed. In the morning, if the deities are small, as they appear to be from this photograph, then they can be laid down in a bed at night, and they can be given nightgowns to wear before taking rest. That is nice. If there is time and facility, then these things can be implemented. So far as bathing is concerned, it requires 2 hands and 1 tongue. In your left hand, be ringing a bell, and simultaneously with your right hand pour water. Chant Hare Krishna, Chitamani, Govinda Jaya Jaya, etc., like that. Here we usually chant the Govinda prayers. So far as touching the deity, this is possible only in a big temple with big deities, but not in a small temple. In big temples like Jagannath Puri, the devotees circumambulate and sometimes touch the lotus feet of the Lord. But in a small temple, that is not possible. If you need help in caring for Tulasi Devi, you can write Govinda Dasi in Hawaii for instruction." Govinda Dasi was the first devotee in ISKCON to be taking care of Tulasi Devi. Srila Prabhupada gave some special instructions then. Deity worship can be learned by children at not less than 10 years. Before that, they can assist. They can learn how to bow down, how to dance and chant, how to make garlands. Sorry. How to make garlands, clean arctic utensils, etc. In this way, they can be engaged. These are also different parts of deity worship. The photos in my murti, are very nice. The murti of spiritual master should be treated as good as the deity. Sakshadari tvainasamasta shastra uktastata bhavyata eva sadvi kintu pravorya priya eva tasya. The guru should be treated as good as God. This is stated in all the Shastras. The difference is that God is master God, and guru is servant God. So the installation ceremony for such a murti should be similar to that done for other deities. All temples can have this deity if they like, but temples which have only Panchatattva painting worship should not be given this deity. You should make a murti of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and then they may be worshipped together, as is now being done in our Krishna Balaram temple. They should be placed with Gauranitai Guru Gauranga. Yes. So that means on the altar, like we have here, on the altar with Gauranitai. Guru Gauranga also refers to Gauranitai. And then Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta are also there on that altar. Srila Prabhupada wanted that not just that his murti be there, but that his spiritual masters also. So next section. The schedule to be followed in worshiping the deity is as follows. Morning artik may be performed at 4:30 until 5 a.m. Then immediately following, the deity room should be washed, cleaned, and the dirty utensils removed. Then everyone can chant before the deity until 6:30. The deity should then be bathed and dressed and fresh flowers put. It should not take longer than 1 hour to bathe and dress the deity if one actually knows how it is done. But it may take longer, so you may offer the bhoga at 8 o'clock. The idea of bathing the deity after offering bhoga is not correct. So please follow the schedule as I have given. Yes, so we bathe the deity right after Mongol Artik, and then there's another offering after that, which is happening right now. Another letter. Regarding your question on how to carry your deities to different places with you, you should of course always carry them personally, if at all possible, in a small box or cabinet for that purpose. Then when you come to another temple, you may place them on the altar with the other deities. That is nice. Regarding your question about taking Gauranitai deities with you on traveling kirtan, this is not so important. When Lord Chaitanya was touring India, he did not bring his deity with him. But if you can make proper arrangements, then you may take them. But if you say you have no brahmanas, then I think for the time being, you may postpone this program. And that letter was written in 1973. I don't know who it was written to. So number 42, realizations. Pratyatosha Das was an expert sound technician, and from the time he first joined Krishna consciousness, he thought of traveling with Srila Prabhupada and recording his talks and lectures. In 1972, Pratyatosha went to see Srila Prabhupada at New Vrindavan, and he brought his tape recorder. While there, he was asked to go to Prabhupada's cabin and record Srila Prabhupada reciting from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Pratyatosha entered Prabhupada's room and began setting up the tape recorder. As he worked, Pratyatosha explained to Prabhupada his idea of traveling with him. Prabhupada put his head back and waited for a few seconds, and finally told Pratyatosha it was a good proposal and that he would think about it. Srila Prabhupada then chanted several chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, and Pratyatosha recorded them. After Prabhupada finished the reading, Pratyatosha again asked about traveling with him. Prabhupada then said it was very expensive to travel, and that he already had many devotees traveling in his party. He said he did not think the temples could afford it. Pratyatosha had volunteered his services, and Prabhupada rejected his proposal. But Pratyatosha felt completely satisfied. Srila Prabhupada had been pleased by his proposal and had given it serious consideration. Pratyatosha had never felt so wonderful after having a proposal rejected. Srila Prabhupada rejected the proposal, but he considered it. Which is very important for this particular devotee. It was even considered. Prabhupada is non-different from his books. I had the idea this is written by Charudas. Prabhupada, continuing this, what I was just reading, the next paragraph is, Prabhupada is non-different from his books. I had the idea that an author and his books were separate. I tended to think an author had his literary life as well as his private life. But whether Prabhupada was alone in his room or with one or two people, he was always just speaking from his books, just as he did when lecturing in public. The book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat are the same, and realizing this made me very much inspired to study the philosophy. Book Bhagavat and person Bhagavat. Srila Prabhupada never wanted to be late for any preaching engagement. He used to say that Bhaktivinoda Thakur would arrive at the train station hours early just so that he would not miss the train. Prabhupada himself always preferred to be early. Once in Japan, Srila Prabhupada had an appointment with executives of Dai Nippon Printing Company. He did not wish to be late, so he dressed quickly and then chanted his Gayatri while walking to the car. Although he was very strict about matters of sadhana, he was willing to forego certain rules in order to spread Krishna consciousness. Whatever Prabhupada did was great. He is the first person whose eating of dal and chapatis has made thousands of people all over the world eat dal and chapatis. Whatever a great man does, other people will follow. A lot of people ate dal and chapatis in India before Prabhupada, but it didn't make anyone else do it. That was written by Tamal Krishna Goswami. I'm sure they would have any comments. Okay. Number 43, little drops of nectar. On the subject of giving mercy. In Calcutta in 1971, Yamuna Dasi was bringing Prabhupada his lunch. Prabhupada asked her if she was teaching the girls how to cook. At that point, Kaushalya Dasi, who was outside the room, spoke up and said that Yamuna was actually not teaching them to cook. Prabhupada then looked at Yamuna Dasi and, in a very serious tone, told her that if she did not distribute her knowledge, she would become envious. Yamuna then understood that whatever she learned from Prabhupada, she should share with others, including knowledge of cooking. So that's very important. As soon as we know something, Krishna consciously or otherwise, we need to see how we can teach it to others. Like we're sitting here trying to teach like that. So, but we all are learning something in life, something about Krishna consciousness. So once we know something, once we understand it, then we need to see how we can give that to others. And if we have the mood that I know so many things, but I'm not going to share this with anyone, then that will cause us to become envious. So Prabhupada says here. So envy is not good for Krishna consciousness. We need to share what we learned. Once Prabhupada was leaving Paris, the devotees accompanied him to the airport and sat with him in the departure lounge, waiting with him until the time he could board the plane. At one point, Prabhupada took off his flower garland and instructed the devotees to distribute it to non-devotees. Harivilas Das got up and began handing out flowers. Harivilas was struck by Prabhupada's magnanimous nature. Prabhupada was not only engaging them in service, but also teaching them how to preach. He realized that Prabhupada wanted the devotees to use every minute to spread Krishna consciousness to the conditioned living entities. Prabhupada watched them distributing the flowers, and he seemed very pleased. When they returned to their seats beside Srila Prabhupada, he expressed his pleasure that they had done this, and they too became pleased. Another paragraph. Pankajanava Das was nervous when he received Brahmana initiation. A devotee had shown Pankajanava how to count the different Gayatri mantras on his fingers, but the method which he showed him was not correct. When Pankajanava went to receive Gayatri, Prabhupada demonstrated the correct method of counting, but because Pankajanava was nervous, he could not hear Prabhupada's instructions, so he repeatedly used the wrong method of counting the mantras. You cannot be initiated, Prabhupada finally said. Your memory is too short. Call my servant. Pankajanava stood up and got the servant. When the servant came in, Pankajanava told him he was too nervous. Prabhupada then told Pankajanava to go outside and practice. He later returned and counted the mantras correctly. From the time, in another paragraph, from the time the devotees first moved into the Berkeley Temple, the neighbors caused trouble. The people living across the street from the temple made a large sign blaspheming the Hare Krishnas and hung it on the front of their house. When Prabhupada came to Berkeley for Rath Yatra, the devotees became anxious. They tried to take Prabhupada down another street so that he would not see the sign, but road construction and a detour forced the devotees to take Prabhupada past the house. To keep Prabhupada from seeing the sign, the devotees began pointing to the opposite side of the street. Prabhupada, they said, look at the trees. Aren't they nice? Do you see the temple? Then Prabhupada happened to turn and he noticed a sign. He said it was nice and that this was the only house in America with Krishna's name on the front. How was that? Yeah, Srila Prabhupada took everything very positive. Someone would say so many things. Hare Krishna is this, Hare Krishna is that, criticizing. But Srila Prabhupada would say, oh, it's very good. They're chanting Hare Krishna. They're chanting Hare Krishna. Yeah, he said, this is very nice. That was the only house in America with Krishna's name in the front. Number 44. In November of 1976, Puri Das visited Prabhupada in Vrindavan. Puri Das had come from Paris, and he had brought with him the new French translation of Krishna book. Puri Das felt nervous as he entered Prabhupada's room and paid his obeisances. Srila Prabhupada was speaking with a student from America at that time. Prabhupada and Puri Das exchanged a few words, and Puri Das said that he had brought the new French Krishna book. Ah, Srila Prabhupada said, this is what I like. And he began to look at the new book. As he looked at the pages, his face lit up and held the book up for everyone in the room to see. He then turned to the student from America and said how boys and girls in every country of the world are taking seriously to Krishna consciousness. Chant, dance, feast, and philosophy. This is Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada told the boy. And he again began looking at the new book. Prabhupada really liked when somebody did a translation of one of his books. In the summer of 1974, Prabhupada traveled to Paris to install Sri Sri Radha Paris Ishwara. The deities were very large and required several men to carry them into the temple room. Prabhupada was pleased by how nicely the temple had been decorated. During the Abhishek, Srila Prabhupada stopped for a moment to look at Srimati Radharani's face. There was a spot of paint on her face. Prabhupada took some yogurt on his fingertip and with great care and devotion began to massage the spot on her face. He did this for some time, and the devotees could understand that Prabhupada was in full awareness that this deity was Radharani herself. In this way, he demonstrated complete absorption in the worship of the deity. (45) Prabhupada tells short stories. In 1977, the construction of the Bombay Temple was going slowly. On several occasions, Srila Swami told Prabhupada that the marble contractors would be arriving in 15 days. Srila Prabhupada then told a story about a professional witness who worked in the court system. This witness would repeatedly be called upon for various testimonies, and for this he would receive a fee. When being sworn in, the witness would always testify that his age was 60 years. One day the judge pointed out that for years the man had been claiming to be 60 years old. The witness replied that a man should not change his word of honor. In the same way, Prabhupada concluded, Srila Swami would not change his word of honor. On a visit, next paragraph, on a visit to Tehran in 1976, Prabhupada told a story. Shri Gaura Shri Radha Brajabihari, Jagannath, Balaram, Lady Subhadra, Gaura Shigade, Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Lord Shiva and his consort, Parvati, were once passing through a town disguised as ordinary people. On their way, they passed a beggar in the street. This poor man is begging, so why don't you give him something, Parvati said to Lord Shiva. Even if I give it, he will not be able to enjoy. He is so unfortunate. Lord Shiva answered. Parvati again requested him to give the beggar something. So Lord Shiva consented. Take this, Lord Shiva said to the man, and he gave him a watermelon containing a great treasure of gold and jewels. On receiving the watermelon, the beggar thought, what shall I do with this? And he sold the watermelon to a man for only a few cents. Prabhupada then explained how we are as unfortunate as the beggar. Krishna is giving perfect knowledge, but like the beggar, we are not taking advantage. Number 46, little drops of nectar. Prabhupada is always right. While visiting Los Angeles in 1971, Prabhupada took a walk through a park. After walking for some time, Prabhupada and the devotees came upon a section of the park that was fenced in. The gate was open, but a sign said, "Unauthorized, do not enter." Prabhupada began walking toward the gate. Kurandar told Prabhupada that he should not pass through the gate. 3 times he told Prabhupada it was unauthorized. Finally, Prabhupada stopped, looked at Kurandar and said, "Mahajano yena kata sapanta." One should follow in the path of the Mahajanas. He then proceeded toward the gate. Prabhupada chose the path that led directly to their car and thus saved a long walk back the way they had come. Once some devotees acquired a special mechanical device for lifting the top of the Rath cart. The devotees assured Prabhupada that Narayan Das could assemble the mechanism. But Prabhupada said they should form a committee and consult together rather than have just one man take on the work. He said it should not be that only one man understood and everyone else did not know what he was doing. When the devotees told Narayan what Prabhupada had said, Narayan felt bad, thinking that Prabhupada doubted him. But then the devotees sat down and had their meeting. They soon realized that neither Narayan nor anyone else among them had the ability to construct the complex device. Narayan then resolved to always consult others before beginning a project. Once in Hyderabad, Prabhupada stayed in a room with a slanting roof. He asked his servant, Harisari, to put a picture of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati on top of the almirah. But because the roof slanted, Harisari could not figure out a way to hang the picture. Prabhupada said it took a little intelligence, and then he related a story. Christopher Columbus and a companion were sitting at the table. Actually, your going to America was not anything special, said the gentleman. You didn't plan to go there. It was an accident. Anyone could have done it, but you just happened to be the first. Columbus then put an egg on the table and said, "Make this egg stand on its end." The man tried and tried, but he could not balance the egg. Finally, he gave up in desperation. Columbus then took the egg and tapped the big end until it became flat. Then he stood the egg on its end. "Well," the man said, "you didn't say I could break the egg. It takes a little intelligence," answered Columbus. After telling this story, Prabhupada then tilted the picture so that it was resting on the wall in the opposite way from that of the conventional picture. In this way, he was able to slip the picture between the almirah and the slanting roof. Almirah. I don't know what almirah is. 47. Little drops of nectar. In Bombay, Srila Prabhupada was visited by a follower of Ramakrishna who claimed that Ramakrishna was an incarnation of God. The man explained how Ramakrishna had saved a drunkard. Prabhupada said, if this fact made Ramakrishna an incarnation of God, Prabhupada asked if this fact made Ramakrishna an incarnation of God. Prabhupada said that he had converted thousands of drunkards, not only drunkards, Western drunkards. And he said, therefore, I am a much bigger incarnation than him. Prabhupada visited Gorakhpur in 1971, and while there he had an intimate exchange with his disciples. When asked how a devotee should decide between various services to offer to Krishna, Prabhupada told the devotee to inquire from his spiritual master. The disciple expressed a doubt, thinking that this question might seem foolish. No, don't speculate, Prabhupada said. You should immediately ask your spiritual master. Then I would be asking you questions all day long, and you'd have no time to do anything else, the disciple said. No, Prabhupada said. You are welcome. You are welcome. No, Prabhupada said. You are welcome. You are welcome. I don't understand it. Going on. In London in 1969, Trivikram Das was giving Prabhupada a massage. Prabhupada was preaching about how Krishna has form. Krishna turned and put his arms on Trivikram's shoulders and said, just as Trivikram has form, Krishna also has form. Next paragraph. Prabhupada once stayed in a small room that had a ceiling which was higher in the middle than it was around the walls. Prabhupada liked the room very much. He said it reminded him of his room at the Radha Damodar temple. To me, this is sense gratification, he said. In Mayapur in 1976, Srila Prabhupada had an evening darshan for his devotees. Someone brought in sweets and Prabhupada's servant put them away. Prabhupada asked the servant why he didn't serve the prasadam. The servant replied that there were too many devotees in the room and that he would pass out prasadam as everyone was leaving. Prabhupada quickly answered, they will never leave. And the devotees all shouted, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada's room that the devotees of Santa Fe temple offered to him was almost bare, and his bed was only a mattress on the floor. One evening as Prabhupada sat on his mattress, his disciple Toshan Krishna Das noticed a small insect walking across the floor. The bug approached Prabhupada's mattress and Toshan Krishna wanted to shoo it away. But Prabhupada said it was all right. The bug climbed up on the mattress and walked up on Prabhupada. Prabhupada smiled and bounced the bug off the mattress and back onto the floor. Again, the insect crawled to the mattress and climbed up where Prabhupada was sitting. And again, Prabhupada bounced it back onto the floor. We should have sprayed, said Toshan Krishna. No, said Prabhupada. You can just keep it clean. Understand? So Srila Prabhupada he emphasized more just keeping your home, keeping everything very clean, then the insects will not come. It's 8:30. I guess I have to stop. Any questions? Okay. And nobody online is asking questions. So I guess we'll stop here for today. Tomorrow is Saturday. We'll be back at Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow, continuing. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.